Raw Refined Podcast, back at it again. You know we have to do a part 2 to this Kanye shit.
Of course.
And Kim is tied to the Clintons. Ooh, I see that. Oh.
Shit. I'm in my bag though, right? Yeah, but like, I'm in my bag. If I say my shit, I'm saying my shit, bro.
It's the fit, low key.
So, okay. So, if we kind of confirm now that through that, and I heard it too, that
Kanye and Kim.
I know. I'm saying we confirm now that the Kardashians and the Clintons are related. Do you believe then that based off of the supposed well, at least the media is presenting it to be, the rhetoric that they say Kanye is spewing could have any impact on his life via the Clintons doing a Clinton on them?
You know
because
brought that up,
did I just hit a nerve?
Yeah,
I even hit a nerve. Like,
yeah, because I'm trying to think about that. Like, what if maybe, you know what I'm saying, Kanye West is acting out right now. What if he's just trying to get back at them? Maybe because if there
could be retaliation.
If they have ties to the Democratic Party, you know what I'm saying? So Kanye's like, you know what? I'm going to show you a big F you. I'm going to get on the Republican side. I'm going to spew all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And rile everybody. I don't know. But it could be a possibility.
No,
right?
but my thing is just like misinformation. Okay, he could like get his shit off. I don't mind that.
What misinformation are you referring to, dude?
Like I mean, he's talking about like the Jewish people, right? And like,
what did he say wrong?
Because like, I don't know. I don't want to like YouTube. Like, I have to be careful with the YouTube algorithms, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do.
Well, that's the thing. Just so the audience in YouTube knows, you know, most of us have our own perspectives and views, but we're not anti-Semitic. We're not attacking the Jewish community. This is just all opinions.
It's all opinionated.
And if anything, forming speculations on certain outcomes of things that can later come down the line.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Going back to it. Well, what you had said are great points. But my thing is, due to the fact that there's the family ties between his ex-wife and another political figure. I mean, if he's not tempered or calmed down by the media or by different people, you know, that are basically denouncing him on all the podcasts that he's gone on. He's gone on the Andrew Schultz podcast. Yeah. I've seen him go on Lex Friedman, Alex Jones, obviously, and many others. If they can't calm him down, if the media can't calm him down, if political figures and figureheads can't calm him down, then what else could?
Well, just like
it's his deals and like in his endorsement deals, right?
Well, meaning calm him down in a way to where he does not keep talking about some of the things that he's talking about that most people don't want to hear. Because there's ties to different, like you said.
I like how like what Zach said on last podcast. I'm gonna recap that. Like he talking like he's just like going through a lot of trauma, right, and a lot of pain. You know, that's what you brought up. Remember, like so this kind of made me a realization. Like, okay, I was just judging him on my perspective. You know, and it's not fair.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of outside looking in. It's a lot of outside looking in.
Well, Red, what do you mean by it's too easy? Why it's too easy? Kind of expound on that.
Elaborate on that.
It's just way too easy to say. He's emotional. That just sounds so vague. There's nothing to it. Explain what
he might be borderline. Maybe
borderline what?
He just be on the borderline, bro.
No, man. Listen,
mental health is like it's real out here, bro.
People know certain things. You know, you got to stop trying to label people shit. Like that's what everybody does. Like we
put it in a box.
We got to stop doing that, dude.
What's wrong with labels, though?
There's nothing wrong with labels, but sometimes they're just used as a war tactic to demean a person's sentiment.
Would you say like people weaponize that shit with the label?
That's what I just said. Yes, they weaponize it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think we should actually listen to what is being said and use our actual faculties of our mind to review what is being said. Like I don't understand.
Well, like you have to think about as a normal like civilian because they're not operating how we operating. Because we understand like I'm on the same frequency as you, brother. But like as a regular person.
Yeah. But the thing is, the media is creating a narrative so you normal people can digest and just take in. Most normal people don't even have a thinking faculty, a logic faculty to differentiate
That's
what is
true.
going on within themselves. That's the problem.
So how can we change that? I'm about solution based.
Okay, hold on. But the facts of it still remain that what Kanye West is wilding by some of the stuff.
What is he doing? What is he saying?
He's trying to get
Please,
attention.
give me
What I mean by wilding
examples.
is example when he started talking about. I mean, I understand like he has meaning to what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
And reasonings.
it's outrageous.
Is
Like
it
we was
active
talking
reasoning,
about the
though?
Hitler thing, you know
What's
what I'm saying?
outrageous? There's another label. What's
Like,
outrageous?
Like, let me example when he brought up Hitler. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to bring Hitler on a good light on the Hitler, right? He's trying to shine light on the Hitler, right? But I mean, I understand what he's saying. Like, obviously, people do good in their life. There's always good and bad. But Hitler is just known for. We all know what Hitler did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's making
And
you
I
question.
feel like no. But listen though, it's just like in that moment, in that time, it's like Kanye West. You know that you could have got your idea across in another way, but you did not have to bring up Hitler when you were just talking about
Oh my
anti-Semitic
goodness.
things. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know that Kanye
Why is
West.
Hitler a
he's doing
sensitive
that.
topic? Because they
Why
taught
so
you
sensitive?
what they taught you in
It's
school.
not that Hitler is a sensitive topic, right? It's just that Hitler relates to the Jews. And so it's like if you're going to come out here with this anti-Semitic speech, you know what I'm saying, and then say sorry or whatever or try to, clean it up.
He didn't say sorry.
He didn't say
said
sorry.
but
He's
tried to
very
clean it up, but
unapologetic.
he's still going back and forth on it. But it's like, okay, but then you bring Hitler up. It's not like anybody was talking about the Holocaust. Nobody brought that up. He brought that up out of nowhere. And you know why he did that? Because Kanye West likes to
Get a reaction.
exactly.
Yeah,
he
that's
likes
easy to
do
say,
things
too.
Like that to
That's
get a
easy-
reaction. Like
that's
on
easy to
some
say,
trolling
too.
Stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. But what if there's more? I said this last part. What if there's more information with that whole situation? I'm not insensitive. I mean, I
Same
get,
here, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I like to
But
push the envelope.
Maybe we should look more into what happened then. Maybe we should start asking questions. Are you guys hybrid Jew? I know.
Well,
Because
it's fantastic that you just said that because Lex Freeman on his podcast, there was something that he had said that struck a nerve with me. And I didn't realize it until he said it. And maybe it was out there before, but it just didn't come to me personally. So he specifically said something along the lines of this. He said, he told Lex, because Lex goes, oh, well, I'm from the Soviet Union, but I'm Jewish. So somehow I guess he has Jewish lineage, whatever. And he goes, well, that's cool. I'm Jew. I'm not Jewish. So is he trying to,
What?
and no, yeah.
What does that
I'm
mean?
Jew, but not Jewish. Well,
Hinting.
and the thing is
Subliminals
like,
again.
well, if we even go back, not to get religious, but like you go into religious texts like the Bible, and it talks about how in there is no Jewish word
Jewism.
in there, but yet there's a word called Jew in there. Jew, Gentile,
Jew Gentile.
are not, yeah. It says Jew and Gentile
Jews,
and
okay.
describing
Hebrew.
certain things and messages that it's
Hebrew.
talking about.
Isn't there a time in the Bible where it went from Hebrew to Jew? Wasn't it?
The Jews, right, they speak Hebrew. Hebrew is the language. Jew is the description of that person's descendants.
Ethnicity, okay.
Well, they're either that or descendants or how basically they are, like their being, who they are, like, I don't know. I can't really explain it any further than that. The Jewish word, it's like, well, you're Jewish, but are you actually Jew by blood? So I think that's what he was trying to highlight to Lex. See, Lex, I like the guy, and I respect him, especially because he's got way more of a clout, whatever, if you want to call it that. He's way more successful. I can admit that. But I think the thing that caught my eye is I think he failed to see what Kanye was saying in some of those things he was displaying to Lex during that interview, which was those two things. He didn't even catch that. You could tell.
Yeah.
He didn't even understand what he was saying.
They weren't in sync.
No, he wasn't really, in my opinion at least, and maybe I could be wrong, and I'm not trying to throw words in his mouth or what he's thinking, but I don't think he caught when Kanye said, again, I'm not Jewish, I'm Jew. Right? Mm-hmm. And then Kanye went along and said, like, well, all of us tend to have some like Jew in us or something like that he basically went on with. But so I think Kanye's beef is not Jews. but the people who are Jewish. Because in his eyes, I think he thinks, from his perception, and I could be wrong, but he thinks that most of these people out there are not real Jews. They're Jewish. They're wannabes.
They've been
hijacked. So I think that's what Kanye, part of it, he was trying to say without actually directly saying it.
Yes.
So a subliminal message that I don't think Lex actually picked up on.
Yeah.
And that's what I picked on when I saw it. So I'm like a witness to this, right?
So like,
so
he's what was said was out of context then.
Well, everybody has their own motives. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lex came to the show with his own motives and intentions. So that's probably why he was missing what Kanye was trying to say. Because, you know, he was just going based off of, like, you know how interviews are conducted, you know what I'm saying? He's going based off of, like, all right, well, this is what's going on in the news. So he's trying to set his stuff up so he could be like, all right, this is what I'm doing, boom, boom. Like, you're right. I don't think he was in the mindset to sit down and actually have that conversation because it didn't even get that far. I feel like he wasn't really opening up. You know,
because I think the main part of that conversation was Lex trying to highlight that, hey, like, it's not cool, bro, to like show any forms of anti-Semitism or to basically, you know, indicate that you're kind of like praising Hitler for what he did. I think he was just trying to say, hey, it's not cool, but we think
Hitler thing came after.
No, I know it did, but I think Lex probably, maybe he knew, or maybe he had an idea that maybe he could be leading towards maybe idolizing him. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think his main point was that, hey, what he was just kind of regurgitating what the media was spewing about him. There we go.
Exactly. That's what I'm
that's
saying.
That's a better way to put it.
Regurgitating what the media was already spitting out.
And that was the intent in the beginning of the podcast.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. He has his own motive going into that. Like, okay, this is what you're saying. Because, you know, like, everybody misses the part about how Kanye West isn't talking about all Jews. You know what I'm saying? He said that.
Right.
He's just talking about the ones that he's dealing with. That so happen to be all up in the industry, all up behind the business.
They own it.
All the contracts and everything, you know? So he's mad at those Jews. But he was telling the kids, ask your mommy and your daddy, you know what I'm saying, why Kanye West is mad at y'all. You know what I'm saying? But then with that saying, too, it's like, well, it makes it sound like Kanye West, you're mad at all Jews, but it's not that he's mad at all Jews.
No.
It's that he's mad at the ones that are fucking him over.
Exactly, and I mean, this is not for the regular minds, simple minds. You got to read between the lines. There's information being told on the airways, and I don't think everybody's hip to it. Everybody's just adopting the mindset of the media.
Yeah, that's what the problem is.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And the media is fucking war tactics, bro. Like, that's just propaganda.
It's propaganda shit, bro. It's all centralized, and like, they need to decentralize that shit.
I feel like not everybody's on it. I feel like now we're in a new age where a lot of people are starting not to trust the media.
They don't trust it, yeah.
And I feel like this is the thing, though. With that happening, with us not being able to trust the media and us not being able to trust our quote-unquote powers ahead, you know what I'm saying, like our government or whatever, us not being able to trust that is going to lead to us being divided, being conquered, divided. Because now, if we're divided by, we don't know who to trust. You know what I'm saying? Soon that's going to turn down to now I can't trust my neighbor.
So zero.
I can't walk outside and trust my neighbor.
Let you finish that.
Things are going to get scarce. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be easy for us to be conquered.
Would you believe like?
But that's the negative side of looking at it.
It is a negative.
You know what I'm saying?
But like, it's also realistic.
It could bring people together.
But like, don't you see, like, we live in a society, in a culture now, like, it's a microwave, like, instant. Everybody's like all like reeling in their head, and it's like on the screen.
I think you've taken way too much Addy today, Christian.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's just like, I mean, my train of thought.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, my train of thought, though. I mean, my train of thought. Microwave, like, they want microwave shit instantly, bro. Because instead of like just trying to like ask more question, like, why are you questioning that? Why is this how it is? People don't want to push that fucking envelope, bro. Yeah, they don't. It's like they know, okay, if not the people that I work for, my boss, they might cancel me or just fire me, you know. So like I'm about like going against the grain of things. So like just spread.
It can't just be about going against the grain. It has to be
more deeper than that.
Your morale.
Moralities.
You know what I'm saying? We have to pay attention to that. We got to I don't think that, I mean, this could possibly divide us, and I think that's why it's there, to divide us. Keep it real.
What exactly are you referring to? For the people who maybe don't know,
like us not being able to trust the powers, you know, what I'm saying? Because everything now, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish. Let me answer this question, so, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. But like the powers that are at
bay.
Yeah, so now we're in an age where we get all this information and sources are telling us this and this things, and now everybody's thinking about, okay, now we can't trust, we can't even trust our government because obviously they're doing things that are not benefiting the people. You know what I'm saying? And they're not even telling us about it. Everybody's coming to age of that through social media, these new technologies, what Christian was saying.
Technologies, bro.
It's an information overload. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're getting all these things. But that's what he means. That's going to divide us because now it's like we have all these different sources of where information is coming from, but we don't have one legitimate solid source. You know what I'm saying?
Do you honestly feel like people care about the future of this nation? Like, do you really, when you look around you, like in your environment, you see all the people, do you really think that they give a fuck?
I would say this.
No, they don't.
Ideally, at the top of their mind, I feel like they would say yes, they would want to.
They would just say,
but with their works and deep down subconsciously, maybe not.
You don't really care.
Maybe not.
And this is the thing. This is the thing that's very scary. That is more scary than anything. That you really don't give a fuck about the future of your nation. You're not even seeing what's going on, and you're just willing to just pick a side.
Yeah, that's true. Because think about it like this: a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. Like, because we weren't talking about this on the podcast. We were talking about this in the group chat. But like, it's like some people just need there's leaders and then there's followers, and some people just need to follow. You know what I'm saying? Like how Christian is saying, like if people actually sat down and not just like listen to the media, but actually like have like
dissected.
What's the word? Like damn, I can't think of it.
It's all good, brother. I got you. Like have the smart discernment, critical thinking,
right? So you have the critical thinking. You have to analyze the situation and be like, okay, what's up? But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are so busy,
quick to judge.
They're so busy with their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? They just go to check out what's popping up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is new is new.
Oh
they're
my
trying to be on with what's being on. You know what I'm saying? Nobody actually does the work and actually critically think.
You know
what I'm saying? Yeah. They just, like you said, people just hop on the team. They hop on these bandwagons. They don't.
That's what.
And I can give you a reasoning for that. Like, back to the full circle, fucking Christian was saying the destruction of the family unit and the tribe. Who gives you your foundation? Who gives you your thought system? Who gives
family
your
unit,
tribe?
tribe.
They give you that so you can take in what's going on in the world correctly. From your tribe. That's your identity. If you destroy that, you have no identity, and then people don't give a fuck. They just sway with the wind. So this was an attack for this dude. This is planned, bro. This wasn't just popped out of fucking nowhere. This is,
and then not everybody's like knowing of their true lineage and like and paying homage to their own culture. So like with me, I'm like come from like a huge like family of Vietnamese descent. You know what I'm saying? So first generation. So like with me as a Vietnamese Asian male, I'm not really like, I'm kind of like look upon like with my family, when I go to the family gatherings, like they look at me like, oh yeah, why he has all this dreaded hair and stuff, you know? So they don't embrace me. So but with that, so my parents never like talked about my culture, so I never embraced that side of me, but I want to embrace and know my history and stuff and pay homage to my people.
Do you think that coming to America destroys your culture?
Yeah, it does. You know, because like there's a lot of trauma tied into that.
That's the thing with America. Like, we parade and say we're American, but what are we truly proud of when we have actually no foundation?
Like it's not even about because the patriotism. like you're saying, because like what is that foundation? I would say is the patriotism. But a lot of those people who come to America, a lot of reason why people come to America is not because of the history of America.
It's the freedom.
They come here for the American dream
experience.
That and the freedom because of the tyranny and the communism that exists in other
that comes
countries.
with the American dream. That's all under the umbrella of the American dream. You know, you're free, the land of the free. You know what I'm saying? The liberty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a place where anybody can start and build to something. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not high heights, you can still get to something. And I feel like a lot of the people who come here just want that. And as far as like the culture wise, you know what I'm saying? When you go to a new spot, you know what I'm saying? It's the pressure of just trying to fit into that culture.
In that mold.
So you're adapted. You have the right tools to survive in that environment. You know what I'm saying?
How about like
and
that was the
sometimes,
sick part.
My bad.
Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you do lose your culture and things, but like not everybody does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sometimes
not everybody does.
You have to just connect with your people.
It gets watered down at least.
It does.
But it does get watered down.
But like that's
America. That is what America is. Where, like you said,
a melting pot. But like for me, like I don't have no ties or no roots because my parents don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So like
having a confession.
I don't want to like really like know like how my people suffered and pay homage. But how can I pay homage? And then that's why like
The Vietnamese people suffered over in Vietnam.
Yeah, in Vietnam, there's a lot of like tyranny and stuff.
The whole reason why like all that happened too, the Vietnam War, was because they were preaching communism.
Yeah.
And they were preaching that they wanted to spread it amongst pretty much all of Asia.
And that's kind of similar to our topic right now with Kanye. Yeah. With communism.
It is. It's all
tied
well
in.
because you could either have communism on the right wing or the left wing.
Yeah.
It could be either way. But I think, like going back to it, like the United States took their boot and basically stomped on that country when they were evolving into communism, but they felt that it could become like another World War II situation.
Yes.
You got to remember, it was only 20 or 30 years after World War II. So at that time, they're like, look, we already went through a shit ton of stuff back here.
Yeah.
We need to transition over here. So that America like thought, well, we can go over there and do what we need to do. But clearly that whole war was really bad. We pulled out really bad. Yeah. Similar to Biden with Afghanistan, actually. There's similar traits to it. Yeah. So it wasn't all that great, and we poisoned and like did a bunch. Like, dude, people still today over there, if they have kids, that poison that they put over there at the time, and I don't know what exact one it is.
Say this.
They're having birth defects physically, dude. Like still to this day.
My grandmother, like when she go to the supermarket, when you know like when they watered like the vegetables, she thinks that's fucking landmines. So that's like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Psychological. You feel
PTSD.
Me?
Yeah.
PTSD, bro. So like,
I have a question. Who are the only people who have a culture that you know of in America?
Say that again.
Who are the only people who have a culture that you know of in America?
Who are the only people? Are you trying to say that who are the people that have a distinctive culture?
A distinctive culture that you know of
in America.
I think the cultures all still exist, though.
I
think they're there.
Yeah,
still there.
I mean, I get what you're saying because everything is melting down. There's not, but that's the thing about America is that
y'all didn't answer my question.
No, but okay, hold on. This is the answer to your question. Okay.
And I can see where the beef stems. I can literally see where the beef stems.
Well, I think it's
they stomp on everybody's fucking culture.
No, but here.
Well,
but
who's they? Who's
they? Who referring?
Should I say the name?
Who?
Should I say the name? Oh,
I don't know.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I know what you mean.
That's
just hit me.
Because it gets deeper than that. It gets deeper than that because everybody who came to America brought their own culture with them. So America doesn't have a solidified culture. You know what I'm saying? Everything in America has always been changing. When it first started with the indigenous people here, that was a culture, right? And then the English people came over here. They started settling, and then that changed into a whole nother culture. And then the German immigrants, the Italian immigrants started coming over here. Yeah. That was a whole nother culture.
What I'm saying? Should we be blended in together?
I don't know, but America's the only place in the world where we are.
Okay, we
started out blended. I'm sorry. There's other places that have other races and ethnicities now, but as far as America being the very first like spot, well, I can't even say that. Well, I say with the most cultures, I think we're the most.
When you come to America, you're selling out.
When you come to America, you're selling out. Okay, in what way? What do you mean?
You're giving up your culture for the American dream.
Okay. So you're giving up your culture for American dream. Okay, I see what you're saying, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, it's not even a point. Well, I guess you are selling out, but everybody has a choice to choose a life that they want. You know what I'm saying? If you want better for your life and you feel like in that country where you are right now, your shit is shit poor, you know what I'm saying? There's no resources, there's nothing that can stem you up. You're barely getting day by day, you know what I'm saying? There's no medical coming through. You know, people get desperate, and I feel like they would be like, fuck that, let's go to the place where we can get at least.
Is the grass greener on the other side?
No, but there's always a cooler side of the pillow. You know what I'm saying?
My God, dude.
There's always the cooler side of the pillow. You know what I'm saying? The grass is not always greener on the other side, but there is a cooler side of the pillow. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man.
Just like, posing questions, man.
Desperate. I feel like humans in desperate times, desperate situations, it makes you act out of character. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you be like, well, fuck my culture. What about my kids? What about my family? I want them to live. You know.
So do you feel like more so in like native countries where people come from that come over here that they have their culture is represented a lot better than like them bringing the same thing over to America?
It's way stronger.
And is that because America we're founded kind of on, when we're talking about cultural stuff, like the entertainment industry and the intermixing of other cultures?
That's our culture.
That's
our culture.
That's
sad.
I see. Well,
I don't see it as sad. Like I think it can be used. I think it can be used positively, but clearly it hasn't been in the last decades.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. I think I know what you're saying. Are you saying that well, I don't know. I just had an epiphany, right? Because like I just thought about this. The American culture, it just made me think like cowboys and Indians, and let's see, what else? What else is American culture? Like guns and
fast food,
NASCAR. You know, it's
football.
Funny. It's funny because
football, baseball, basketball,
sports,
tennis. For God's sake,
other than the sports,
come on, man.
Other than the sports, why is it that America culture is always had to do something with some type of almost like criminal activity or something where it's like the sides are.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Because
that's a good
Indians,
point.
It was iffy. It was like, okay, I mean, you guys are justifying it, but it's not really justified. You know what I'm saying? NASCAR, it was just through the Prohibition era where alcohol was illegal and people were like, fuck that, I'm still making money, I'm out here doing my thing, and that became an American, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, there's always an intrinsic evil that somehow turns to a positive in America's eyes.
Yes.
That's what it seems
Chaos
like it comes down to.
That's crazy. And then the black culture, right? The community, right? Where it's like, okay, people, drug life, gang life, you know what I'm saying? But now it's publicized, like it's popular, and that's part of the culture.
It's popular,
and everybody wants to be part of it, yeah.
Now
everybody.
It's in the light of America, it's good, you know what I'm saying?
And then it's like, it's disgusting, kind of. You have to look at it for what it is, like.
And it's funny because it's like, well, what other culture does that but America?
That's us.
You see what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
You broke it down.
Broke it down, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're founded on some bullshit, bro.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy. It's nuts to me.
And it's like in the
so you're saying more so of like, even though, like, would you say like Cuba was founded on like real shit, even though they're impoverished as a country?
I feel like they started off,
but morally, like they're better off culturally because they don't really flip into other cultures. They just stick to their one.
Stick to them.
Okay, so you're more like, hey, we need to just stick to this.
The law of one.
Well, Cuba, dude, let me tell you though, the living conditions and the way that it is over there, bro.
But they're not tripping about the women, the bad bitches, the social media. They're not tripping about that shit. Go to Cuba.
But they're not privy to that stuff. Like,
listen to this though. That's where you have to keep up with the times, and people are having competition. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody in the surrounding countries around you, Mexico, America, let's say, what else is around Cuba? What's another good country around Cuba? That's like
Cuba's kind of in the middle of
Venezuela.
No, but I'm just saying, like, Brazil. Or
Brazil,
something,
yeah,
or
South America.
South America, yeah.
Well, let's
South
just say
America.
you're trying to keep up with everybody. You keep trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the money's coming in. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out, if you don't have the resources there, you have to figure it out. So you have to start working with outside.
Can I tell you something?
To get things. Because if they just stayed Cuba, they don't have enough resources.
Yeah, you keep on saying resources, but the thing is, to keep up with the Joneses, when a nation is poor, you start to see
because the infrastructure,
the things like the gender, even the gender roles come into their natural spot, the natural place. The men are men, the women are women.
Yeah.
I see shit on YouTube all the time. You go to South America, the women are straight submissive. They're feminine. They're nothing like the women over here.
Exactly, respectful.
You know what I'm saying?
Modest.
The ideology, though.
You understand me?
Western people.
So are we fooled? That's the question of the year. We think we have it better. You keep on saying, oh, the resources, the money, they're poor. You keep on saying that, and you think you're looking down, but I think you're really looking up. I'm gonna keep it.
Keep it 100. Keep it stacked.
I'm gonna say this because the fact of the notion is that even though those cultures are still like ideally
third world,
but
yeah.
they stick to the old traditions because it's like something that you need to survive. It's regular human activity. But here's the thing, though, with the Western culture, we have it so good here that we don't have to focus on shit like that. We don't have to focus on actually surviving because we got all these fucking devices and all these things, right? And so it leaves up it leaves up room to start making up ideals, ideologies.
I'm about to, nigga. We're on a fluff cloud.
So yeah, so I feel what you're saying.
That's not real.
I feel what you're saying. So
it's not real.
But that's the thing, though. That's why the ideology here is different from over there. Is because we're so good here that we have the ability to sit right here and have this discussion,
have this conversation.
We have we don't have it as hard as they do in those third world countries.
And
so that's the reason why those third world countries are like more primitive and they're like back with the
old time traditional.
You have to do that to survive. And I feel what you're saying, like.
But like everybody's praising.
You say that. Wait, hold up. You say that. But okay, we go back in fucking time. The French Revolution in Haiti.
Okay.
The French, I'll say they're similar to what we are, right? Haiti, third world. Yeah. Haiti fucked over the French. That's why they got their independence. Okay. So you can keep on saying, ooh, they have more resources. We have more resources. We're better than them. They're poor, but the men are men. They'll defend what they believe. Okay. We don't know what the fuck we believe over here. We have no clue.
Yeah, it's changing. That's what I'm saying. We're divided.
So our men don't even know what to fight for.
Yeah, we got more soft.
Can't even get him into the military.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get you. But also, I want to throw this in there too. No dish to the French, but the French were very arrogant.
Yeah,
they're always been arrogant back in history.
I know some few French people.
Always flipped on them, and that's you know what I'm saying. America works differently. America learned from those dudes and say we're gonna do it better. So shout out to America because America has learned from everybody else and figured out okay we're gonna do this shit better. That's why this shit is working. You know what I'm saying? But you're right though, and that's why
is it working though, Zach?
What, America?
Yeah, is it working?
No, I'm just saying that it worked as far as them conquering and being the best land.
The top. Yeah.
They learned from the competitors.
Oh,
they figured out how to win.
So,
but you're right though, as far as in like the men are being broken and it's being divided. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, sir.
We don't have the sources. You know what I'm saying? Like when you grow up in today's age, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so much different information. There's not one rule. It's not one
you think
rule.
It's freedom?
It's not freedom, but it's a microwave.
How much freedom do we need?
No, but that's the thing, though. That's the thing. It is freedom, but it's like it gets to a point where it's like, well, can humans handle that? Do humans actually need structure? Is that why civilizations are built? And that's why monarchies and there's higher up people because the regular people can't think. They can't handle it when you give them too much freedom.
It makes you question dictatorship. It makes you,
you know?
Maybe.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
Think about it. 'Cause sometimes, you know, like we don't have people. That's what I'm saying. We don't have people who are critically thinking and have the minds of their own. You know what I'm saying? It's more of like you're saying, piggybacking on. They choose teams. It's tribalism. You know what I'm saying? They're like, this is my squad, and I don't give a fuck what they're saying. They could be spewing out blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just fuck with them because that's my squad. Shit, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so with all that, with all of the different like sources of tribes and shit like that, it's diluting us because now we don't have one real source. What you're saying, like, what is American culture? What is that one thing that like holds us together? You know what I'm saying? And I felt like we lost
our way. We lost our way. We lost our way to become like more competitive. You know, because like nowadays everybody's praising each other in like participation trophies and shit.
You're right, because in other countries we're not even top in math
and science. All the Asian,
we're starting to dropping
all those on the boards.
Did you follow me on TikTok?
And you follow me on TikTok? But how about you become in those jobs in the STEMs and become an engineer type shit and like learn how to code? And
Why?
Shit.
When I'm getting money to be a fucking goof?
Or OnlyFans? Why would you get money from OnlyFans?
Why? Why? Do you see this?
But like we could develop.
The craziest thing is the people who get that, like they're the fastest to lose it. You see, like even going into the sports people, like the sports players, whether it's like basketball or football or whatever, they don't know how to handle money. So you could get lucky and win the lottery because you did a viral TikTok video and TikTok wants to sponsor you and give you a shit ton of money, or however you get your wealth. But then they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to make money on top of that money.
Yeah, they know how to.
They end up losing it.
Fast and it goes out.
Speaks to the culture.
And then you get taxed instead of borrowing against what you got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That way it's tax free.
Would you say they don't know how to
There's
mitigate?
no power to your money.
Hold up. You know how to mitigate like their investments, and you don't know how to mitigate like into different pockets.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like they don't know how to make and multiply the money that they already have.
Yeah.
So
Who the fuck
$500
does? Who does in this country?
Who does?
We don't.
Well,
There's only one person I can look. One group of people.
The 1%?
1%. The top
people.
The business people. No. Hey. Don't use the news
media. You said
don't use that, bro.
What you're saying? I'm not dismissing what you're saying.
Well, I think they're a part of the whole pyramid.
I'm not dismissing what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, because you're saying that very vaguely.
It's very vague to me too.
What I'm saying is that the people who know money and control money are people who are going to school for those things and are in that business, accounting. They know money.
Bro, I'm not blaming them for shit. I think we should learn from them. They have culture.
I know, but like,
I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. We're the goose for buying into the shit.
Yo,
consumers.
This device right here, like, I got fucking nerd developed this shit because all the technology in the STEM, like those that they went to school for, you know, so they develop that technology right there.
Do you know what needed to be done to create that shit? Do you know what they need to do? There's fucking
innovative shit.
There's African children in mines, and not in mines, but fucking in like ditches, fucking digging up resources to create that.
Create that thing right there.
Yes, bro. It's slavery.
But it's like a tool.
Let me tell you something. Because
let me ask you that. I'm sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but let me ask you that though. I'm sorry. Why are they doing that though? Why are those other countries having those kids out there digging up shit?
What do you mean?
Because it's being exploited, right?
Exploited, bro.
Yeah,
Exploitation.
The only reason why they do it is for what?
Money.
For the money.
For the money.
Exactly.
If you have money, you can move mountains.
You move mountains.
Trying to keep up with the
At what
Joneses.
point is it not about the money, guys?
But think about the
No,
Nike.
I admit, dude. I'm here to tell you the morality of it is fucking corrupt.
It
It's
is.
corrupt.
How much money does one man need?
I know, dude. I feel you.
That's a great.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Well, for
I don't
instance,
know.
I don't want to lose this train of thought. I'm pretty sure you landed your plane.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So no, you're good. So there was a video, and I'll send it to you guys in the group chat. Okay. Maybe I'll even link it in the description below if people are still watching this thus far.
This is great.
But there was a video of it was an Indian lady from India. I think she worked for some software company, whatever. But she broke down the whole thing with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is not a innovator, or I should say B. Gates. But he's not an innovator. He's not a creator. That's what she basically said. He said he bought the software that the software engineers built over in India through a university in the 80s and 90s. And then he basically got word of it somehow. He had connections. He saw that the Office program that Microsoft runs on, the software that's a part of it, the coding that was developed, was bought out by Bill Gates because he bought the patents.
Yeah, wasn't that
So-
Intel or something like he bought out Intel, Google, and I don't know if that was the one that.
That's
came from
probably one
India,
of them. But for
Intel
this
did.
specific situation, he had bought the software, patented for $50,000, and then sold it for billions of dollars later on. So if that doesn't tell you that, and then the craziest thing is when he bought it, to continue the development, instead of hiring developers over in Silicon Valley, it cost more because, again, this goes back to our currency. Our currency, the global reserve, has way more value than it does in other countries. And I'll give you guys some on that in a bit. But basically, he went over to these other countries, networked with the right people, had them continue the software to continue to build, then patent it, but paid them for the same value that you'd get here. They got way less, right? Because of the currency conversion rate. So he knew how to basically exploit people over there for a cheaper wage, which most people know that constantly goes on amongst industries. It's not just B. Gates. Yeah. But the fact that this guy goes up on a pulpit and says that we need to watch our health and we need to do this and that and we need to have more vaccinations and everything else. I'm not just talking with the COVID vaccine. I'm talking all vaccinations. This guy is a spokesman, yet this guy is the biggest crook. He used other people's resources, which was the resources were the people that had the minds, had the code, had all the things that they were just talently gifted in, and then basically used money to pay them a less wage to produce more of an asset for him to sell it to the masses in America and other countries that are well off. For he made basically a cheap labor and gain. Cheap labor and gain was made. So cheap labor he paid, and the gain was enormous when he sold it to all these other countries.
But I got something to say.
So it's like, dude, and how much more of that happens? You know, like how much more of this are we as capitalists going to put up with? Like, I support capitalism, like I said, to a certain extent, but I think that it just needs to be a little bit more fair than using other people. Like those people, if you're going to create something, they should be, and then you're going to sell it in another country for the same or a higher thing, but the production process is going to be less. It's like you're using that to buy cheap and then sell more. I get it. Buy buy less and sell high, or whatever the hell the expression is. I just think it's bullshit. It's poor, dude.
That's the thing. But that's like what it is to be a businessman. Like how you said, that's the
Yes,
capitalistic
sir.
side. But check this out. It's funny because I'm gonna tie this back to the last podcast. Remember how I was saying that, like, he just do exactly what you just explained. Bill Gates was just doing a business move. He went over there. It's not him. He's not the brain behind it, but he has the resources. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers work for me. I'm gonna get the money. So we shouldn't be crediting what he says. He shouldn't be a spokesperson because you're right. He is a crook, but
Because he never actually produced it. He never created
he's
it.
a businessman, and that's what businessmen do, just like Trump. And so when back
It's a
in the old
business,
podcast when you were asking me, you know what I'm saying, we were talking about the whole Drake thing, you know what I'm saying, these industries and people, why is it that they go into these things? It's the same reason.
They're just like the face.
At the top, they're business. They see that they can make money, so they go at you and they use you to make money off of you. And that's the reason why these motherfuckers who get like that Drake level, they get higher and higher. And if you start to understand the business side, you gotta separate the two, the art from the business.
Yeah.
Because
Separate
two different
it.
things.
Guys,
You know what I'm saying?
in big business, someone's getting sacrificed. You have to sacrifice someone to become a billionaire.
Okay,
Kanye West, look what he did.
what did he sacrifice?
He's selling fucking bum clothes for fucking a high price. What, 500? Dog.
That somebody else in another country is producing for way less. So
We're the idiots.
But that's fashion,
You're
though.
sacrificed.
But
no,
that's
it's not fucking
like these
fashion.
Adidas,
It's
some
stupid shit.
kid in Japan or some kid in China specifically, is going to produce these for 18 cents on the hour, but yet these shoes are $150,
The
$200.
system's flawed.
Even like,
if you're against it, why you got the shoes on?
well, yeah, I got
that?
the Balenciagas on.
Because we.
But here's the thing. No,
What else we gonna
absolutely,
do?
I agree with you. But let me get to my point. Actually, I'm paying for just the logo. The shoe itself is way less.
The same.
So
How about this?
this is how fucked America will be, because I've had this point brought up before, like when I've talked about it with other people.
Just pay
I
for
like the
brand,
brands that are produced. Like I like the product, and unfortunately, I don't make the wage adjustments because I'm not the business owner of that brand. If I was, maybe I would think about it a little bit differently. I think that getting to the crutch of it, America really doesn't, like, I could buy these same shoes with no brand, but yet somebody's still making a profit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am
screwed.
to live in this society. So this is how fucked up it is. There's going to be places where I go, if I don't, like what you just said, well, why are you wearing them? Well, if I don't wear any shoes, Zach, I don't get serviced when I go inside,
No,
right?
sir.
So the system works with the capitalists that produce the products that people intrinsically have to buy, or else they can't continue to live in a civil society. You talked about last podcast, I'm living in a society. Well, to live in this so-called society, I'm forced basically to do it if I want to live civilly, and I want to have shoes on my feet to be able to go inside of a retail establishment and buy food or buy clothes or buy whatever thing that I need to in order to continue this process.
And even if you're
brand doesn't matter because somebody is still producing the shoe to create the capital to then be bought and sold.
What you had me in the beginning when you said that, like if you were walking into a business or whatever and you want people to appeal to you a certain way, so you would have
no, not appeal. They won't sell me shit if I don't have no this.
Shoes.
Wait, hold on, not appeal.
Hear me out. So
yeah, go ahead.
What I'm saying, because I thought it was like, okay, you walk into a spot, and just because you have that logo, you know what I'm saying, people will see you and represent you, and it will get you into a higher spot. Well, not a higher spot, but it gets an opportunity for you.
Yeah, that's true too, but not
what
this.
You're saying, though, is now I could challenge that. I want to challenge it.
Yeah.
If that's the case, if you're just wearing shoes just because you need to wear shoes, just because you need to function, you don't have to buy the Adidas brands. You know what I'm saying? There's also companies that are in America, but
what are those?
No, but I know,
what are those?
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying it doesn't matter the brand anyway because the exploitation is already done. It is. Because you have to buy those shoes in order to have them on your feet.
Yeah.
People just prefer the brand better because maybe there is something extra that the other shoe doesn't have.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
But regardless, I still have to buy shoes to be able to live in a society and go into an establishment.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what he's saying.
People respect certain brands. They respect when you have certain things. Balenciaga, even though they're,
these are real,
going
bro.
through some shit. I don't care. But yeah, he's gonna get respect when he walks into a damn. Those are damn Christian. You got some. Yeah. You understand me? Like,
I work hard for this,
certain
man.
respect here. Like
it's a classism.
Exactly.
It's a class.
But yet the other person on the flip side, they're not able to get that wage that they should be getting to produce the product.
Yeah.
That's what's shitty about it.
Yeah. Someone's getting fucking sacrificed in America.
But there is
well, maybe not. It depends on where the product's being produced, but I see what you're saying.
Because
it's going to be China. These are it's going to be China.
The only reason why it's a sacrifice is because it's the ideal. It's
the idealism. Yeah,
exactly. You're in a capitalist of society, right? And so it's a competition, and so anybody's willing to cut the next man to get ahead.
Yeah,
everybody's just trying to get ahead. So people get sacrificed because someone else is just trying to get ahead. They're trying to climb the ladder. They're trying to pull you like a crab's in a bucket. You try to get a crab out, they pull one dude out.
Pull him down, bro.
That's the philosophy of America, and this is what I mean.
A capitalistic society, but you gotta choose. You know,
choose your side. Pick your side. You want the freedom, or you want to be in
misery?
I
didn't choose.
Do you want the socialism, or
socialism,
communist, or fascist,
Well, I think there could be an intertwining of both. But I
gotta pick.
That's
think the craziest part about it.
I think there could be a mixture.
I'm sorry.
Says who?
That's the climate that we live in.
Niggas. Says
I know, but that's the climate that we live in, though.
Look, I'll tell you this: life is just full of choices.
It's choices. You have your own free will.
Your culture's so weak that you can't say fucking no to nothing. You're by yourself,
brother.
That's the shit.
Brother,
what do you gotta say?
I think because
there's not enough freedom of speech going on.
There's not free press of speech.
No, you're weak all alone.
What do you mean?
Weak all alone. Your voice means nothing by itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Kanye's voice means nothing if black people don't back him.
Yes.
It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but what's the reason why black people are backing him? It's not because he's black. What's the reason why black people back him?
The brand.
The brand.
It
goes back to the brand.
Kanye West brand.
Those Yeezys on their feet.
His music.
Before the Yeezys.
His music, baby. His music.
The music, yeah.
It's the art. It's the art.
His music.
It's the art. You respect the art.
Yes.
And then black people are fucking with it because you see
the artwork. Yeah.
Damn, that's still yay, bro.
Who looks like you.
Damn.
out here making art and he's succeeding in this culture where it's not for us to succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa,
So
here I'm gonna
He's
throw a
not truly
curveball at you
succeeding.
now.
Yeah.
well,
Are black people now, after all these comments have been made and all the social media influencers and the regular media and the politicians have already commented, are they still backing him? What was it, 1 or 2
black people
billion
still
down to
backing him? Yeah.
approximately 120 million, which I don't
but-
know if that's true or
I can
not.
confidently say black people are still backing Kanye West.
Yeah.
You really think?
Really?
Honestly, yes. But just based
At least
off of,
based on the media, they're trying to say, "Oh no, they're not."
I'll answer
media's
your
wrong.
Kyle, I answer your question.
The media's wrong.
wants you to believe to
Right.
back up off of Kanye West, but I can honestly confidently say that black people, that he still has a strong hold on the
Charlemagne
black
doesn't.
people. But
Charlemagne.
Prepping for the other side.
The other side, bro.
But
Charlemagne's for the
Charlemagne is
streets.
He keeps it real, though. He keeps it
He'll
real.
do anything and say
And he
anything.
plays
Puppet.
victim for everything too.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
is a victim.
It's a
card.
victim card there.
But look, but if Charlemagne wasn't in the
In the higher sphere, right?
if Charlemagne
Yeah.
wasn't in the industry that he's in, would he be like that?
If Kanye West
Yeah,
gave him
no,
enough,
yeah, true.
if
true.
Kanye West gave him enough money, he'll be on his side.
Yeah.
He's a whore. I don't want to talk.
Charlemagne, that's what I'm saying. He's for the streets.
Just using it as an example, because I did
Yeah.
see a podcast again with that guy Andrew Schultz. They sat
Yeah.
down, and I mean, dude,
I'm
they
glad
went
you
through
brought that up.
everything.
I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah,
I saw some the media pushing out like fuck Kanye West shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, whoa,
Why-
whoa,
why
whoa,
hatred?
Whoa, hold up, fuck Kanye
Come
West. Like, and I know the black culture didn't inspire that. Nobody brought that
No.
up. Who brought that up? Who brought that up? And then
Some
try to
BS
sell
like
it
microwave
to the black
bullshit.
people,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah,
Some microwave
right.
bullshit, bro.
Because I seen it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? You see these pages where it's obviously they post a lot of black content, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's obviously very, very black engaged, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's very black engaged, right?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna post something like "fuck Kanye West,"
Yeah.
like shirts, and then they want people to sell them,
Sell
buy
'em,
them,
yeah, and buy
make
'em,
memes
buy 'em.
off of it, and it's like nobody's backing this shit. Nobody brought
I
that shit up.
don't co-sign for that.
And
Or
we're
back
not
that. Yeah.
co-signing that. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Black people who are following Kanye West with common sense obviously know that this man is wilding. What he's
Yeah.
saying, he's going off the rail. You know what I'm saying? But they just know that's just Kanye West. When he walked up on stage, I believe that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. He's always doing outlandish shit.
And
But that
Black
that's
people
just-
need to stop following celebrities.
yeah. So like,
Period.
Well,
I mean, brother, do you believe like there's a class to it though? There's you gonna be like a certain type how you carry yourself, like a class, like you know, like so you have to in these rooms, but like you have to act a certain way. Like what is civil? Being like
to get ahead. You
to
have
get ahead in these
you
classes.
you have to be molded
into
or
that.
Act, or let's just
Accordingly.
say act accordingly. Yeah, you have to act accordingly. Because look at Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z came from the streets, was a quote-unquote drug lord, but now he's in these big, you know...
You can't be like say M bombs
and
here,
stuff.
M bombs here. You just like when you talk to like the Caucasian business people, right? You can't be like be wilding to talking like out in the streets. You got to be business oriented, bro.
Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah, and I want to say this.
Yeah, but I
that-
think what it is too is Caucasian people need to understand the black culture too.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
But I don't think they shouldn't be in charge of it. But
Yeah,
they
that's
should
what I'm
have an
saying. Culture
understanding
vulture.
when talking to people
Culture
of a
vulture.
different race.
But
Sure.
that's the thing, though. That's what ties into what Red was saying. It's like the culture that. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, never mind. Damn, I had
It's
to
all
get
good, brother.
Damn, I lost.
I was gonna say like some of the people that Kanye's interviewed with, I could already tell they don't understand his flow.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that they see is that he's talking about how, especially now they're going to use it against him. The comments of Hitler and this and that. Look, I don't think, honestly, Kanye was truly serious about
Yeah.
that. I think that
Get a reaction.
He probably does have
Yeah.
mental, conditions or whatever. Actually, believe it or not, and this is going to sound crazy, I think Kanye is actually better without medication
Yeah.
because he's more.
Same here.
Other than some of the things that he did on Alex Jones before that, he was a little bit more clear and level-headed because he's getting at the root problem is that, hey, like you guys talk about Hitler and the genocide that happened back then, which is terrible and it's blasphemous, but then you won't talk about the whole thing with Planned Parenthood, how that's
they put it- they put it everywhere in
an
the hood,
annihilation
in the
on
hoodlums and
black
shit.
people
Everywhere.
itself. You guys, the liberals, they preach so much that they're for the black man or the black community.
Yeah.
Yet these are the very people who support Planned Parenthood that have the signs all over the place. So
and
I got
like
my train of thought
where, and this
you brought that up.
oh, okay,
I got my train
go
of
ahead.
thought back. And that ties back to how what Red's saying, that the black people shouldn't be looking up to the celebrities.
Yes,
and it's like, you're right. We shouldn't be looking up to celebrities. But in this culture, well, how you said with the parenthood, how the liberals set it up, it's like, well, we don't have anything to look up to. We always think of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when we see people like Kanye West, Jay-Z, these black people who get into a position of power, you want to look up to them. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're so quick to jump to these dudes as idols and shit. Or the black culture to jump to these dudes as idols and stuff, because it makes us feel like we're humans. You know, it makes us feel like we have a chance, we have a dream. Like if that brother right there did it, I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? It gives us
Kanye West was created from this culture. This isn't our culture. One, and second, black people only can get energy from slavery because that's the only thing we're taught.
That's from the source.
That's the only, you go to school, that's the only thing you're taught about your people. You're slaves. No offense, white people can draw energy from Alexander the Great, George Washington, while we can just draw from one source, which is slavery.
Though? But Alexander wasn't as great until he started fucking with the Egyptians. What's him and Cleopatra?
They didn't say that in the motherfucking history books. Notice that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like this shit is different, bro.
Well, that's what Kanye was saying. And again, not to bring it up, but the Lex Fridman thing. He's like, hey, there was some museum he said he went to, and it's like, when I went to this museum, it wasn't like it was a king or something of that nature. It was, this is to acknowledge the slavery that happened in that time. So I think going back to it, like even what Lex was saying, he's like, there's something about how if you don't mention, if you try to breeze over the Holocaust, it echoes a certain pain. But what Kanye, I think, was trying to initiate is that, look, brother, the same pain that you guys are feeling from this time is the same pain that's happening in the womb with the mothers. The fact is that we normalize that because we don't see it. Oh my God, we normalize that and we don't see it, and it's a normalization type process that goes on, and we don't see what actually goes down in those procedure rooms with women.
Surface level,
right? And he's trying to say that, bro, the Holocaust is going on. This is what he's saying. You can go back on the podcast, fact check me. He's saying this same thing is happening with black people, with Planned Parenthood being in their communities. The Holocaust is happening in those communities, except it's being done in a business, professional, medical fucking way, dude. It's camouflage.
You wanted this. You wanted. You chose this.
That's what the people asked for, though.
Fuck up, bro. And the thing is, bro, you guys keep on talking about how, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, bro, but I get more information about our people damn near every day, bro. 500 years wasn't how long we were enslaved. Before America, we were enslaved by Persians for thousands of years.
The French, the Spaniards, we've been enslaved by almost.
So you keep on talking about Holocaust. Nigga, our shit is way worse. And when you get into the details of what has been going on, shit, there were stories of fucking slave masters feeding alligators black babies.
Hands and
how evil can you be?
Body parts.
So you keep on talking that shit.
History's
nasty, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying that's what the mainstream. That's what they're saying is like, hey, the Holocaust, it echoes a pain, which
it
does. But were there other parts in history that were even worse off, like what you're describing?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, exactly. You know, that's all I'm saying.
They think because Hitler mutilated and potentially, killed well over 6 million Jews, to the psyche in the last couple centuries, we believe that was bad. But I mean, dude, if you go back into ancient times, I mean, people were getting ripped apart.
But today's argument is that was in the past, and we've become more civilized.
But every time we bring up Holocaust,
that's the thing.
That's true.
But you can make a slave movie every fucking year.
God. And you act like that's something that's.
So we're just supposed to shut the fuck up about our pain. Right. But when we mention your pain,
yeah, but with the slave movies like Roots and 12 Years a Slave, it is bringing light to the conditions of how the slaves are being
But
treated. But I
Zach,
see what you're saying though. When you show that to black people, it makes us feel less
traumatized, right?
It's like,
what does your son have to look forward to?
Yeah.
Where do we? All tribes get their energy from their strongest point.
But look, I'll tell you this though, because being a black person in America and growing up and having that slave thing, looking up to it, I just saw it as not really a source of weakness, more of a source of power and resilience. Because if they could do that to our people and we could still be here and we still making it to the top of these things, and even though we don't have all the power that they have, right? Starting from not even at the totem pole, but way below the bar. Starting from way below the bar to even making it to the totem pole, to even being in these seats in the high chairs with these people and looking them face to face. You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, as growing up as a kid, I always saw power in that. It's like, yeah, you could think you could hold me down, but I already know the strength of my people.
Yeah, you can survive. That's the only thing you can get from that. Not you're a champion. You rule the world. You're king.
Yeah.
You don't get that. You get you survived.
Well,
that's all you get. And I hate to make this a whole black thing. This isn't a black, but I'm just speaking on the Jews and how they perceive us. Like, you feel what I mean? Like, their pain is, yo, don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't fucking talk about that. But they can keep on showing us and triggering us back to that time when we were at our lowest. But we can never talk about when you were at your lowest. We can only speak of when you're at your highest.
Yeah,
that goes keys.
I mean, there is Holocaust movies, but it's not as much as...
There's not at all, not even close.
Yeah, there's not as much as... Or at least in America, I could say. At least in America, we don't have that many Holocaust movies opposed to slavery and things like that. Movie. And you're right, because it does keep reminding us.
Dude, I don't...
Because I can tell you right now, if I put in Roots right now, I'm going to feel some type of way.
Of course.
Oh my God.
Of course. What
is your name? Our own parents show us
What's
that
your
shit.
name?
Yeah.
Say your name.
Damn.
Say your name.
And here's the thing, like, I think, I mean, dude, even going back into the Moses Exodus times, right? Like, Hitler and all that shit was extremely bad. Absolutely. But the Jews at the time, they were enslaved for 400 years, dude, under Pharaoh. Yeah. The real Jews.
But were they black?
The real ones.
That's what do we know, bro?
How do we know these things? What's the source coming from?
Well, I think I think it was legit. I've had this conversation with a Marine actually about this, because he's traveled the world and, like, dude, he's done a lot of things, and even he's a historian. Like, this guy is fucking history buff to death. I disagree with him on certain shit, but he's a history buff. He agrees. He's like, no, they definitely were black. They're the Egyptians.
Wow, yeah.
Well, he said the Egyptians, but I think the Egyptians and the Jews, I think there could be some kind of tie or lineage, or they could have both almost looked the same. So what do I mean by that? Well,
they look like black people?
Yeah, like they both looked. They both looked. Black. Okay. They maybe, like, one was lighter, one was darker. Who knows? But the fact is that when you look at them, it looks like, they're black. Like, everything is
color, the skin. Like, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like they have the features of
African okay, descent. So there's African American over here, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Haiti. So it's like that. Gotcha. Where it's like, do you feel me? Like, they're Haiti, they speak Haitian. Is it Haitian?
Yeah, Haitian. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. But then over here, people speak English and they're of African descent, yet they live over here in America. So I think going back to it, like, in my view of it, and what he was kind of giving me this history lesson on, there was a whole bunch of shit he was talking about. I don't even remember it all. But he was saying, intrinsically they were, but as time went on, they started mixing with other... other tribes, other people, other things in that.
Ethnicities.
So then it created this whole what is it, like a multiplication?
Pot.
Mixing pot.
Like America with a
crossbreeding.
Mixing pot that then derives now back into Europe, which Jewish people today, they look Caucasian, most of them, right? Yeah. But the real root originally started where they looked more black or African descent. Yeah. So that and that's kind of what I know the Hebrew Israelites talk about. I think from a biblical standpoint, at the end of the day, like, God just looks at us as human beings that he created. Yeah. But I think if we're looking at the historical portion of it, then yeah, we could definitely say, hey, there was that lineage. I mean, dude, you look at even the stuff on the pyramids. I mean, dude, that does not look like Caucasian people, bro. Like that does not. I don't. At least from my interpretation, that does not look like.
I'm
bro.
sorry, this is a little side, like it's a little out there, you know, a little sideway. But I wanted to bring this up because you brought that up. Yeah. It's funny how in America, right, all the great things that America done, or let's just say like in European culture, right, the greatness that they brought into it, it's okay. We don't explain it. We don't question it. We're just like, okay, these guys are great. But when it comes down to Africa, and then they don't consider us smart. Like, they don't consider African people smart enough to be able to build these pyramids. We automatically think that it had to be from an alien. Why couldn't it just be, you know what I'm saying?
Great point.
Now, that's a conspiracy theory.
Right? It's like, okay, well, you know, we can't even give credit to these people. We got to make it seem like, oh, aliens did this. There's no way that humans were smart enough to be able to figure out how to way to... Why not? Why couldn't they be that advanced? Why weren't African people, maybe they were just that advanced that they could actually build that shit, and it wasn't no outside exterior force helping them. It was no aliens. It was just actually them understanding laws, understanding things about the universe, and understanding like sound, vibrations, times and shit, actual alchemy or science or whatever you want to call it, to build these things. And they lined it up with the with the stars and everything, astrology. Why is it that
they killed this
when it comes down to the pyramids, it's a big question. When it comes down to African big things that Africans have done, it's a question that no way that they could have done that. It had to be some mysterious force that came down and brought this here.
So you're saying like it's like a universal law then, like what you like try to explain, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is like, it's like, why is there not like
universal laws
that the Egyptians understood to somehow make these big ass great monuments and everything, these big ass things, you know, in that culture. Think about it, Egyptian culture is still going on today. That man said that they're going to live in the underworld. You think about it, it's what keeps living, the things that are in your mind, the things that are
subconsciously, bro.
And we learn about them.
Even the Egyptians, they spoke of a shadow people.
Yes.
Who took over their culture.
Is that like a...
That's the crazy part about it. And like we talk about our government, shadow government.
Shadow government.
That's it. And I start connecting dots. So I'm like, wait a minute. Shadow.
Is that like the dark matter though? Like in the dark side, like you were talking about. Like,
well, when you think about it,
no, that is not necessarily
all the what are they the people who not the I can't think of the name. Damn, Zach.
That's fine.
The scholars, not the scholars, but the people who
professors.
Like the scholars back in the time were like
transcribers,
like Copernicus and all those people. When they were writing the theories about the world, and like back in that time, you know what I'm saying,
philosophers.
They were only counting those people of European or Caucasian descent as being smart. You know what I'm saying, like worthy, and everything that we do is justified. You know what I'm saying. But when it comes down to Africans, they compared us to monkeys and shit, like saying that we're not even human. We're a darker species. We're you know
different primates.
Well, when you think about it, like Africans were the Homo sapiens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Caucasians had 13% Neanderthal.
Neanderthal,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Which is closest to the apish,
like primates,
you know
right? Yeah.
Other than Homo sapiens, you know, Homo sapiens is actually the human, and then Neanderthal is like that caveman. So
Look,
like that,
they have the whole thing.
The whole
poster.
Calling black people apes, dehumanizing us, making us less of everything. But in reality, it's like you guys are the ones that had that percentage.
Yeah, we need to stop that, man. Like,
but it's like at that time though, the only reason why it's like that is because they came, they conquered, and they destroyed.
You lost the war, buddy.
We lost all the knowledge of the black people, and it's like I feel like they did that on purpose. Anytime they came here, they destroyed shit. They destroyed the knowledge from the village, because you're right. Where do you get your culture from? From the
tribe.
village, from the tribe. So they
Yes,
destroyed
sir.
all that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have anything believed in. Kind of like how they're doing in America, where they keep showing us slavery. They destroyed all of our real culture.
But then they act like they're your friend.
Exactly. And then act like, well,
They
this
befriend
is the way,
you, yeah,
brother. You
like
should be
pretend.
doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the new way of the world.
Yeah, so
Come
we
on,
have to
flow
play
with
the
us.
game how
Yeah.
they're playing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm
It's a-
sorry. I would have.
Yeah. No.
No,
You're speaking
you
truth,
good
bro.
This
truth
is why
right
I'm a
there.
big preacher in the decentralized technology,
Yeah.
personally, because I think that financially, whatever race you are, this can kind of decouple you from the reality of the stupid people at the top.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We Gucci.
You gotta leave.
We good.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Okay, for sure.
Going to our
Yeah,
job.
this is why I'm a big advocate for that, because I think this is a time. This is the first time in a long time where there's a possibility of having more of a uncorrelated, centralized world. It doesn't mean that laws and like government aren't going to be around, but at least in the future, it could start to become a little bit less. Because I think the problem is when you have too much, expanded government, it turns into, like we talked about, a whole bunch of problems, depending on what culture or even race you are. For somebody else, it may benefit one person, but it doesn't benefit the other. So
exactly.
I think, I'm not saying it's going to be a utopia here, but I think there's more of a fairer shot financially in the future with decentralized technology and stuff. But we'll talk about that at a later time.
Yeah, wait, I want to say that because I just little small thing. Like, if you, I would say that to challenge that would be like, well, some people.
You always got to challenge me, man.
I'm sorry, I'm just that guy.
Nah, you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
You're good, bro.
That
I like
guy,
it. You're
dude.
critically thinking, though.
Critical thinking.
That's
He's
what it is.
moving his
Would say
brain.
to
His brain
challenge
functions.
that,
His
it's
nebula
like-
is
'cause I
working
totally get
at
what
least.
You're saying though, like decentralize the technology, but I feel like this is the side. It's like it's a coin. It's two sides to the coin. You know what I'm saying? Because at one part, people are taking advantage of it, but at the same part, technology does bring goodness. Like without technology, we wouldn't have the medical out here to go out here to these other countries and save people and like stop these diseases like polio and all these things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Technology
Malaria.
does have a good sense if it's used
Correctly,
properly,
yeah.
correctly. You know what I'm saying? But it just sucks because in this expanded government, and it's funny. I'll say that after this, that they have to manipulate it and use it that way. you
Yeah.
know? And then my question for the expanded government is it like? Is the reason why we have an expanded government, is it because our country is just expanding? Is it because we have so much people here that we have to have a bigger government?
No, because okay, part of it could be, but I would say the United States has expanded its government probably since the 60s, but it's gotten worse like probably within the past 20 years because people just keep buying into the bullshit that's spewed throughout America. I will say, again, I'm not a social justice warrior, but when BLM and Antifa started, if they just weren't violent, some of their things that they said I actually agreed with, mainly because that was the first time where they're even like labeled as decentralized organizations where there's no one authority that rules over it, and they kind of spoke up against the system and what it produces, which is I think anybody can kind of tell. Not everything a part of America and the system is good. I think certain things do work, but a lot of it's
meant for good, but then it
ended up because you put it in the hands of the wrong people, and you were lied to and told that this guy or this girl is going to get you far. Like, what is it, AOC or whatever? She's telling people to continue to vote for her in her district in New York, yet, and if you don't know who AOC is, she's I think she's a senator.
Do your research.
Or no,
Do your research, please.
House of Representative for Washington on the Democratic Party, and she was elected in 2017 with no degree or anything. She was just randomly selected. So, she preaches that she's for this and that she's going to help her community, yet New York still stays the same. Nothing changes. And I think the more that people buy into the bullshit emotionally and not factually is the more reason why we keep having continued expanded government. And I think that was happening before the early 2000s, but it's within the last like 20 years because of 9/11 and everything we've had, the 20-year war we had over in Iraq. Like, dude, I think a lot of that has made people apparently want more government. We used to not have as much, like during the 70s and 80s, and now like we had it, but it just was less. But now it's like, dude, like without those medical or without those welfare checks or whatever, dude, like you have to rely on it, and it's like a sickening system, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say?
Well, speaking on this decentralized statement, didn't it say in the Bible God said, "Spread the land, spread your seed throughout the land," instead of just clumped together in one place, kind of like how Babylon was. It had one language. It had many. He said have many languages. We all have one language here. We all are clumped up in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's really nothing to be found. You get what I mean? Like,
like a universal language. Yeah.
You know what I'm like. God told us to fucking spread the land, and not stay in one spot.
Okay,
we're all staying in one spot. Isn't that funny? Like, it's weird, and we all speak in one language. Do you remember Babylon in the Bible?
Yeah, I remember Babylon.
Where they spoke one language.
The Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
The Tower of Babel. They basically they're kind of doing what America's doing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what we're doing. Happening in today's
the
world.
Technology of Babel is happening.
Yeah.
Now
in the works right now.
Back then,
it was a bunch of people working, and basically they wanted to build. Was it a ladder?
They wanted to build like a
pyramid or something to reach heaven because they believed.
Yeah, ladder or monument, whatever.
Some kind of thing where it got them elevated. Stairway up to heaven. So that way God, and basically God said, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
and then
that's the whole story about that.
From the story,
they're trying to think that they can get to the level.
Isn't
of
that
God.
this?
Honestly, I see
that's what's happening right now. Yeah,
I had the question though when you brought it up. I just wanted to know. This is just a question. Do you guys think that Antifa and those whatever social groups, whatever, do you really think that they're actually decentralized, or do you think that there is somebody like, let's just say like the Anonymous, right? Or you know how like the Purge and shit, the Anonymous. There's somebody down there.
Well, I'll correct myself. Antifa is, BLM is not. BLM, you have what's her name? Something Patrice Cullors and a few others that control it.
Okay, well,
Antifa is not.
If you decentralized?
No, Antifa is decentralized. BLM is centralized.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
because all the donation money went back to Patrice, and then she. I mean, dude, we have the records now. Everything is on record.
Like, clearly, Antifa. It's like, because it's like, are they really decentralized? Or is it just like they're decentralized because then when shit turns up, when they wanted to go chaotic and they wanted to go off emotion and start burning shit, there's no finger to point to somebody.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What I'm saying? But there really is somebody behind the scenes controlling that.
Oh, yeah. You know like you're talking about who funds them. Yeah, like I know George Soros was a big part of that in BLM. But as far as like the execution of what they do in these communities, like dude, it could be
what I'm saying is like what I mean is like decentralized, like
I'm just saying that's what they're titled with on Wikipedia, for God's sake. That's what they say.
Decentralized, that's what I'm saying. So like my connotation of like decentralized is like there's not a leader. You know what I'm saying? We're all the leader. We all have this like
well, we all come to a consensus and agreement on certain things that we want done, and if we don't, then nothing gets done. So we all in unison have to agree to
together.
that.
So my question is like, okay, is that just a decoy or deployed just like to say that when shit hits the fan, there's no finger to point at somebody like Fidel Castro? You're the leader of this fucking rebellion. You know what I'm saying? So there's no finger to point at. They're just somebody who's behind the scenes who's actually is a leader, and they're orchestrating all these things, and then they just mass produce it to these people like a pyramid thing. Somebody's at the top and they break it down to all these other people, so you don't really know who's at the top of it. You're just like, all right, I'm here for this movement. I'm gonna go with this organization, but they just quote unquote label themselves as decentralized, so that there's no finger to point when shit hits the fan. When they get caught, it's like, well, here's your leader, so we're gonna prosecute him. We can't prosecute anybody because you guys don't have.
You're talking about Antifa?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that connected to George Soros?
See, that's what we were just talking about. Because he was saying, well, isn't George Soros a centralized figure that's controlling it? But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Remember, I think on the first podcast I was talking about the whole thing with plausible deniability, where you have senators and different people, different figureheads that essentially can deny something even though it's true legally.
Like Pelosi.
I mean, many others,
Pelosi.
but I'm not even gonna comment on them. But I'm just saying, in general, you could have different people that essentially just say, "I plead the fifth," or "No, that never happened."
Plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability. So it's like people, especially with Bitcoin and stuff, like people always, if people try to like get their Bitcoin, they just say like, "No, I don't have it," because if it's stored in a way to where
you can't find
it's not on the internet, if everything's circulating on the internet and it's digital, but yet it's off the internet, stored on different devices, or stored on a multitude of devices, it's going to be harder for that centralized authority to track and trace. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible for them to do that. Of course, anything is possible, but it's less likely than if it was like actually like broadcasted on the internet. And you can describe that not just for cryptocurrency, but you can describe that for anything, right? Like Antifa, they're on the internet, but yet they're not, right? Like they're on and off the internet, and there's no one person. Yeah, they're not. There's no one person, that's essentially controlling it, other than what you said, the funding that comes from centralized figures, which again can be described as plausible deniability from the other side if they're questioned if they did or did not.
He's like, I just gave him the money. I didn't know what they was going to do with it.
Yeah.
You can't play chess with the person who created chess.
Yeah.
You can't.
They created a chess.
But anyway,
thank you for tuning in.
Thank you if you made it this far. We appreciate you. Much love.
Much love. Peace to my brothers and sisters out there, and all my goddess and gods. Be vibrant. And
Christian, let's leave them with a word of the day. What's the word of the day?
Word of the day?
Drop some pearls.
I'm gonna drop some gems for y'all, brothers and sisters.
Drop some pearls for pearly
Let's
things.
be like on that love like frequency, man. Just like just spread positivity and light and enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? Like so like we live in like a crab barrel world, so we need to spread that love, bro. Like uplift my brothers and sisters and pay my homage to everybody. Assalamualaikum, bro.
Stop pulling people down,
and not start tearing people down and hit them man. So all my brothers and sisters, salam, man. Yeah.
Hey,
shit.
And obviously we're gonna be back next week doing something else. It's not gonna be Kanye. It'll be on a different topic, so stay tuned for that. If you do like the podcast and the content, feel free to follow us on our Instagram. All that information is in the description below.
Yeah.
And
we appreciate y'all.
Please give us a comment and a like on the video if you enjoyed it. We want to get ideas from you. We want to hear your feedback, especially people that we know and don't know.
Yeah.
Give us some insight, please.
Yeah,
please.
Well, someone gave us some insight. That one comment on the first video.
We'll get it.
Name
you for that.
We're gonna give you a shout out
next week, maybe. But anyway, that's all we have for you guys today. So enjoy your week or weekend, whatever it is.
Yep.
And
thank you for tuning in.
We are raw refined.
Yeah.